Hi, everyone. My name is Javier Perez. I'm a Senior Director of Product Marketing for security at Veeam Software. Pleasure to be here. This is my first solo webinar here at Veeam. I've been here just for a few months, have a background in security, application security, and open source. And I've been kind of running this program for the last few months, Veeam Cybersecure. So I'm here to spend a few minutes telling you more about what Veeam Cybersecure is, how this fits within the Veeam data platform and the Veeam offerings, and then we'll have time for some Q&A. I'm just looking at my presentation right now, but we'll leave at the end your questions and comments on the chat. All right. So without further ado, let's start with a little bit of an introduction, right? And I like to call it that we are in the era of cyber attacks. So as many of you know, we run big survey every year, and then from that survey we publish what is known as the ransomware trends report. In fact, we are already working on the next one. We are going to have our survey out shortly. I mean, basically in the next few weeks. We'll have the survey and then publish the results early next year. But for what it counts for all 2023, we have some very interesting statistics, and I want to share with you just a few of them. So the first one, which is I found really interesting, and looks like the diagram didn't show there. Let's see. Let's go back really quick. Oh, it didn't show there. Well, that's a donut chart with 75% telling us that 75% of organizations suffer at least one ransomware attack in 2023. That's pretty amazing number. Now, of course, you might be thinking, well, I haven't heard of it, right? Or I haven't seen it, I haven't read, I haven't heard it on the news, right? Not every cyber attack, nor every data breach, nor every ransomware attack makes the news. But believe me, we are working on cases every day, and the 75% number it's even low in some cases. So that tells us that it's happening, right? And while companies might, or in your organization might not heard about it, it's likely that you're being threatened by that, right? Or your organization already experienced a ransomware attack. Here are a few more statistics. Not going to go through all of them. We can spend a lot of time on this. I recommend you to download. It's free. The 2024 ransomware trends report. But from that 75% that got attacked, 96% of the cases, so almost every case, the threat actors target the backups, right? So if it's a ransomware attack, the idea is to encrypt data, ask for money, right? The ransom, or exfiltrating data, stealing data, and then do ask for the ransom for not publishing that data, make it public, potential, important data, private data, customer data, or doing the double extortion, which is, pay us so we give you the decryption keys so you can see your data again, and we don't publish publicly, what we exfiltrated. So with all those situations, well, the easiest way to recover from that, especially the encryption, it's to go back to your backups and recover it from your backups. Unfortunately, the threat actors know this, right? So they try to go after find where the backups are, with if you have them with access to, and also attack them, right? Try to encrypt them, delete them, modify them, doing things. Now, by the way, these numbers, important clarification, these are not from Veeam customers. It's a global survey to enterprises all over the world. So these are not specifically Veeam customers. But yeah, so the threat actors go and target the backups, right? So that's alarming. That's something that we need to address, right? The other number, the very interesting number, is that 78% of the financial impact on organizations, it's beyond the ransom payment. So we obviously recommend not to pay ransom, right? Go recover your data, get access, um, do the containment, eradicate any malicious software out there, and then recover from your backups. Uh, but when organizations, and we see this every day, when organizations are in the middle of the ransomware attack, um, it stops operations, right? In some cases, it stops sales, it stops receiving, paying bills, or receiving monies, and that those halted operations have a significant financial impact. So part of the evaluation, when we work on the assessment of these cases, and I'm going to talk about more of that in a few minutes, um, it's that financial impact. So what we're seeing from on this survey and this report is that the financial cost is beyond just if it's the ransom it's paid, is that time that takes to recover and then go back to normal operations. Um, Websites, services that are online and they are completely dependent, sales dependent on the operation, are really heavily affected, right? But all companies are now software companies. They all depend on the functionality of their digital infrastructure. So yeah, a ransomware attack, a cyber attack, has a significant cost. Just to not to take too much time on this slide, I'm just going to mention that really quick. The 30%, 33% of organizations that paid the ransom still could not recover even after paying. Now we have many different situations here, but just to briefly comment on a couple of them. One, well, there's no guarantee when you're dealing or negotiating with cyber criminals. There's no guarantee that when after you pay, they're going to give you the decryption keys, right? So you basically have to trust that they're going to send you the key so you can decrypt. That's one part. So not in every case happens. The second part is that their tools might not be very good, right? They focus on encrypting data, not necessarily on decrypting data. So there are situations where they send back the decryption keys, and you have really problems trying to decrypt all that data, right? There are some other cases where the files got corrupted, there was not a good encryption, therefore not a good way to recover from that data. So very alarming numbers here, right? So now let's talk a little bit more about Veeam and the solution that we're talking about here, about Veeam Cybersecure. Um, Before that, recommendations, and we talked at Veeam a lot about this. It's some standard recommendations, but important, right? And there are so many different frameworks are there, so many guidance and guides from government agency, from cybersecurity agencies all over the world. So there's plenty of good documentation out there. I think if we can mention quick five on how to prepare for those cyber attacks is, well, definitely having a data protection plan, and that's what we cover at Veeam. Definitely make sure that you test your recovery. So recovery planning, recovery testing, making sure that you have clean backups that can be recoverable, that you can recover from those clean backups. Apply zero trust principles, right? From accessibility to consider that think on that you're going to have a breach and think from that perspective. Also separation of environments, um, multi-factor authentication, and so on, right? All those zero trust principles. That's another webinar, of course. I can talk for another hour on that. Have the best support. Make sure that you have the expertise that you have access to the expertise and you have the best tech support. And finally, on these 5 points, I want to talk about the expert ransomware incident response, which is a big part of Veeam Cybersecure, and I'll be talking over the next few minutes about that. So when it happens, if you are in a unfortunate situation of a cyber attack, have knowledge and have access to these the experts, right? Have access to incident response. Many of you have seen this diagram. At a high level, we cover, if you see the 4 or the 3 boxes at the top of this diagram, we cover what Veeam, especially Veeam Data Platform, covers, from the prevention, having your immutable backups, your backups, verified backups, clean backups, to security functionality within the data platform. We have things like inline malware detection and a Jira engine to apply the different rules, integrations with other security tools like SIEM tools. We are actually we're about to announce on the next release of Veeam Data Platform some great enhancements and new security features. So important to have the security aspect on your data platform. And then on the third box, obviously make sure that you can recover quickly and have that important part of your data where you can easily recover, right? And we're talking about here cyber attacks, but obviously goes without saying that you need it for any issues, any potential deletion of data, natural disasters, all the good reasons to have good and tested plans for backup and recovery. So on the 3 boxes that you see at the top of major boxes that you see at the top of this diagram, that's at a very high level what we cover with Veeam Data Platform. Now, before I talk about the Veeam Cybersecure program, we want to include that box, horizontal box in this diagram that covers the incident response, right? As I mentioned, when it happens, when organizations are in the middle of a cyber attack, a ransomware attack, where they don't have access to their data because it's encrypted, or the systems or the operation, having someone to call, having the expertise when you need it, right? And that will cover the different points that you see there on the diagram, from the assessment and the forensic analysis to the potential negotiation and settlement with the cyber criminals. So I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in just a second. But from this diagram, at a very high level, covering Veeam Data Platform and incident response, what are we missing here? What will be the next important piece on having this properly implemented and working? First, to prevent; second, to be ready in the case of need, right? So the next piece from a data platform and having incident response is this program, is the Veeam Cybersecure program. It's a new. It's been around for a few months, offering by Veeam. These are professional services. We want to call it white glove service for Veeam Data Platform customers. And the idea is to secure before the incident, during the incident, and after the incident, in the case of a cyber attack, specifically more on the ransomware attack, right? And that's the majority of what we cover. So on the pre-incident, and there's a lot to talk about here. I'm just going to cover the major items in the scope of Veeam Cybersecure. I published a blog post a couple of weeks ago describing Veeam Cybersecure, so I'll recommend you to check that blog post as well, and we have other documentation on the website. There's a QR code that I'm going to show you at the end for more information. Pre-incident, first of all, is for all our customers, enterprise customers, or general customers, is not necessarily they might have the experience or the expertise on these type of platforms, right? So we say, well, why don't we help you get up and running right away? And how do we help you get up and running with a platform and your target backups and the analysis of everything that you need to cover? It's with first good advanced onboarding sessions, right, to make sure that our customers understand everything that it's in the platform, it's in the scope, how to access technical support, and so on. And then, very important, doing system architecture and design. um, it's not just going and installing or going and running a backup, right? It is important to cover your specific environment. Every organization has different environments. Work with our architects, work with our experts, and provide a proper architectural design, also based on best practices. With that design in hand, then we move into implementation services. So we're including services to implement that recommended design for you, right? Um, Many of our customers, they have different personnel, the people changes, or if it's a new customer, well, they might never had experience with Veeam Data Platform. So we are also covering implementation services for the whole data protection environment. So that's the first piece, right? Get you up and running, making sure that it's based on the best practices. The second piece within in the pre-incident aspect is security assessments, making sure that your environments uh, are secure. They follow best practices and recommendations around security. So we do a quarterly. One of our engineers or our architects or experts uh, work with our customers to do a quarterly security assessment. This is based on, and also we do the quarterly and obviously one annual session. But the idea here is to go through a series of checks. We cover a lengthy checklist of security recommendations. If our customers follow these recommendations, they increase their chances of significantly increase their chances of being protected and avoid cyber attacks, ransomware attacks. Now, there are always cases, right? There are always cases with stolen passwords or phishing attacks and so on. But having your environment well designed, well implemented, and then have quarterly checks, which not only check if there's something missing or something that had to change in terms of security, but also verifying some of the new functionality that it's delivered by Veeam Data Platform. That's an important also check there with between Veeam and customers, right? We include prioritize support, prioritize routing of support calls, support incidents. We assign a support account manager as well. And then we cover different sessions, what we call personalized cybersecurity and ransomware training, kind of one-on-one sessions with our customers. And there are a variety of topics around ransomware that we can cover for technical audiences as well as executive audiences, including something that one of the most popular sessions that we call the TTP analysis session, the adversary tactics, techniques, and procedure sessions. So very complete services on this pre-incident. If I move to the next one, during an incident, if it happens, we, as some of you might remember, we announced the acquisition of Coveware earlier this year in April. And Coveware brings this expertise. They are the Coveware team deals with ransomware cases every day. We cover hundreds of cases per quarter, thousands over the last few years. Coveware has been around for over 6 years, and all those cases are documented and are used also as a reference to evaluate and forecast some of the outcomes on each one of the ransomware attacks. We cover the assessment of the situation. We cover the negotiation with cyber criminals, uh, incident managers with high level of expertise and with backgrounds in um, law enforcement and negotiation cover this, as well as even financial aspects on potential settlements, including things like the Bitcoin payments and so on. All very transparent to our customers, delivered well documented, kind of in a serious, documented way, that it's second to none. The expertise that the Coveware team offers in these cases, the use of technology with the expertise combined, is definitely second to none. And we are, as a organization, Veeam, in the data resilience, data protection space, are really the only one offering ransomware incident response, right? And now Paris is part of the Veeam solution. So let me show you a little bit more information about what the team does in these situations. The first piece is on the assessment, right? So the customer calls, right? We got encrypted, our data is encrypted. We found the ransom note, right? And they're asking for money, right? What can we do? So the first thing is obviously work with our customers. We have the technology, something tool that it's called Recon, the Recon scanner, that we ask our customers to run on the different systems, the systems that are believed to be compromised. And with that technology, we gather information to do the forensic triage, to do identify what were the ransomware artifacts, from the notes to what type of encryption, what type of kind of encryption with the extensions, and based on that we can compare against our database of cases and see, try to forecast the recovery, try to identify the threat actor group, see, the files and see what, the type of encryption, if it relates to something that we are seeing recently or not, right? Ransomware attacks continue to change. The threat actors, use different, they're part of different groups. They use different tools. In the dark web, there are thousands really of hacking tools that they can use to get in, to compromise, and then exfiltrate or encrypt data. So the first piece is the assessment. And having that information, it helps us, taking us to the next stage, which is, well, we can probably help our customers to see, what are the chances to recovery if we decide, or the organization, based on the data, decides to pay a ransom. Well, we have information to help us with the negotiation. By the way, negotiating doesn't mean that we're going to pay at the end, right? It also means to get information from the threat actors, proof of the exfiltration, proof of the encryption, gather information. And sometimes you can extract information about how they got in, right? So that helps us to go and fix it and correct it. Some threat actors, they're very proud, and they go and list, all the things that you did wrong and how they got in. So as much information as possible, that's an important. And what you see here on the screen, it's having this information within the Coveware by Veeam technology and database of, this is the information that we're seeing on for this specific threat actor group, right? These are the chances of recovery. This is the chances of, sometimes re-extort, right? Going back, if it makes sense to pay them or not. And what you see on the example there on the screen is about, comparing against the Black Cat group. Now, Black Cat is, fortunately, it's gone. There were a number of arrests earlier in the year, but some of the threat actors pop up again, right, with some of different tools, some similar tools, or under different names. So the last part that you see there on the screen, it's also providing some information about how you start the negotiation, right? The ask, the ransom, and then negotiating down that and potential much lower payment. So information about threat rate, exfiltration rate, and so on. It's an important information that we can use to forecast the end of this difficult situation, as this at the same time as help information to help us doing the negotiation. So that covers really quick the part of the during the incident, right? When it happened, having the access to the experts. Now, post the and hopefully, obviously, the idea is to recover quickly, right? With the cover by Veeam team also helps with the recovery, helping doing the decryption. If the keys comes from the um, threat actors, also kind of use that and making sure that data can be recovered. We have some of the best in the world, some of the best reverse engineers, experts on decryption that have helped thousands of people, thousands of organizations or people decrypt or recover from a ransomware attack. So uh, world-class engineers, world-class incident response team that now it's part of Veeam, and we're including as part of this program the Veeam Cybersecure. So post-incident, I mentioned that we document every case. All the information is documented and make available to the customer. For cyber insurance, it's important to have all of this documentation. We have plenty of experience working with cyber insurance companies. We know what to document, what information to provide. And then finally, for data, which is being part of the Veeam data platform backups, if there was issue recovering, we have a ransomware recovery warranty of up to $5 million to cover for those expenses. We feel if done well, done through all the steps that I've been mentioning here, pre-incident especially, we feel comfortable that you are going to be able to recover from your immutable backups, that you're going to be able to recover from clean backups, and that's why we can offer a warranty as well. So this is a quick summary of what I just mentioned. Before the ransomware attack, during the ransomware attack, and after the ransomware attack. It's services that help you, our customers, up and running, get up and running, right? Have the expert design and implementation, and then having the best ransomware incident response during the incident, and then of course what you need after the attack, right? What you need in terms of documentation and lessons learned, all the information that was we were able to gather, and then also the warranty. And I almost forget, important also all the training sessions, all the one-to-ones, including the adversary tactics, techniques, and procedure analysis sessions, which is very, very popular. So I'm going to leave you there with a QR code. Hopefully you can go and check there more information about Veeam Cybersecure. This QR code will take you to our website. And just finish with one quote. And this is important, right? Because unfortunately, these situations happen when you suffer a ransomware attack, and really no one rises to the occasion in a cyber threat, in cyber incident, or a cyber attack. You really fall to your level of preparation. So the more you can do, the more we can help you getting ready, getting everything properly set up. I think you improve significantly your chances during a cyber incident. So with that, I believe we have time for some questions. I'm now just going to go and check on the chat to see if we have any questions. First question is, let's see if I can read everything. We have one in Spanish, so I want to try to translate quickly. If we were attacked, how can Veeam help us? If we have been attack, how does Veeam help us about it, right? So if our customers have the Veeam Cyber Secure, regardless, actually I have to say, regardless of the actual encryption happening within the Veeam data platform environment or not, if you're encrypted, if you are suffering a ransomware attack, with Veeam Cyber Secure, you are covered, right? It's basically what we call a retainer, the cover by Veeam retainer. We cover up to 2 incidents per year, but can be extended to more. And then it's just basically calling us. We, as part of the onboarding session, we provide all the information on how to access, how to approach the cover by Veeam experts, and then we can help you with that. So the important clarification there is that if you have Veeam Cybersecure and you been attacked, we can help you, right? It's not specific to your Veeam data platform backup. It's any type of attack. You are encrypted, maybe exfiltration. We can help you through the process, through the negotiation as well. Actually, obviously a lot of expertise on the negotiation. Let me see if I see another question. What is the cost of this service? How do you sell it? It's similar to Veeam Data Platform pricing model, and it's basically 30% of the Veeam Data Platform price, right? So it's 30% of Veeam Data Platform price. That's the easiest way to describe it. And it's for a year, multi-year, 3-year deals and so on. Let me go to the next question. Pre-incident phase, does it include system validation, system security documentation, end user training or guidelines? It does not. The training, it's a little bit different. The training, it's more on the on the ransomware topics, not Veeam training. That's separate. System validation, is the security assessment check. It's part of the architectural design, and then the quarterly checks. Unless you are talking about something very specific, there should be covered as part of the access, working with the architects or the customer success team, right? How Veeam detected that our data is under attack? It will not override it or override in on existing backup. How Veeam detected that our data is under attack? Well, typically you will be the one identifying, right? Because you will have access to your data, and customers will receive typically a ransom note. It could be a file that you can access. In some cases, it's an email that your organization receives, or multiple emails to multiple groups that your organization receives. So this is, just to clarify, this is a little bit different to the Veeam Data Platform malware detection, right? So with malware detection, yes, I mean, if we can identify that there's some malware, those malwares can become a ransomware, right? That can be the malware that executes the encryption. So we have the security functionality within the platform. Here from Veeam Data Secure, it's the services, right, on top of the platform. How do you protect from a logic boom? Recover data only to have to re-encrypt it. This is unfortunately a case that is happening more and more, right? Where the threat actors remain with access or have a ways to go back and encrypt your data again. Now we obviously, as part of the incident, we look to identify how the data got encrypted, looking at those IOCs, indicators of compromise, looking at those TTPs, at those tactics, techniques, and procedures. So we provide enough information based on the analysis to see what exactly happened, what exactly was used and executed for that attack. And obviously, identifying that, we work with customers to eradicate that and to delete that. As part of obviously also the containment, it's a way to making sure that you get rid, you eradicate all those that could be malicious tools, hacker tools, and so on. That you clean that. Yes, there's unfortunately the risk of being reinfected or having again an encryption. We know this is outside the ransomware trends report, but just working with the team, the Copware team, we know that the attack or attacking more than once, it's less often after they work with us, with our team, right? Because we help you with all this analysis to improve your defenses. So less likely to be attacked for a second time. It's much lower the rate of reattacks after they've been working with us, as opposed to just any other company. And that's the information that we receive on the survey on the ransomware trends report. So unfortunately topic, but the more layers of security, and in this case services that you have pre-incident, and then the expertise during the incident, I think definitely all of that helps. Let's see if they have another question here. I think I covered those questions. If I'm missing anything, is the protection just for ransomware or any other attack also? Well, typically it's two types of extortions. The ransomware attack where you're encrypted, and or the exfiltration where your data is extracted, right? Everything else in terms of attacks, it's different, right? So if you're talking about, for example, like a phishing attack, right? Many of your employees will start receiving these emails, and then those are the ways to get in. But once they get in and compromise your systems, they're going to be looking to encrypt or exfiltrate. So the other attacks are more on these are basically the tactics and techniques to get in, versus the actual incident, which especially for organizations is the encryption or the exfiltration, or both of them. I hope that answered your question. Feel free to ask again, or reach out if you want to talk about more in detail about that. Things will not included here. Someone was asking me, there's some cases like extortion via pictures, right? Like compromising photos of people, and that's why they are doing the extortion. That will typically not part of the ransomware incident response, or not part of what we do there, right? But I know we know that type of extortion also exists, but it's not about the data in there, or the encryption of the data in there. Looking more on some of the other questions. Let me see if I didn't miss any of those. I think I covered what I see here. No, there are more, and we have a couple of more minutes. No, I think what I see is the same questions. Here's one. Does part of the ransomware services include restoring your data to separate cloud resources, completely separate from your current hardware? If so, this could also cover some disaster situations. Yeah, so we help you with the having all the information, right? Effectively, customers, you are the ones with the access to your environments and your data. So yes, we can recommend you to recover somewhere else, right? Maybe in some cases have a bit of a quarantine, right? You recover, but you verify, making sure that everything is clean. If you do that on a separate, server, separate VM, it's good. If you want to do that on the public cloud and some VMs, absolutely. Ultimately, customers are the ones doing it, but we can certainly recommend. Obviously, a lot of expertise on recovering Veeam backups or backups within the platform. Um, uh, on the incident response, uh, we also helping you, as I mentioned earlier, with the decryption, right? Either with the keys that the that you receive, or just trying to identify or trying to decrypt for you, right? As I mentioned earlier, we have really world-class experts on the decryption side of things, um, reverse engineers that with years of experience on this. So in many cases, we're able to help us with that with the decryption, right? So that's just on the ransomware attack. When you're referring in terms of recovering backups, obviously the Veeam tech support, and we talked about a kind of a SWAT team, a prioritized team to help you also with any questions around the recovery. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you very much for your attention. We are recording this. This is live, but we are recording. So if people that couldn't make it, send it our way. They'll be able to watch this webinar soon. So with that, thank you very much. Goodbye.